Nowadays, everybody wants everything 24/7. That's including the training. They want to watch it at 1 a.m. in the morning. They want to watch it when they've got an hour between shifts or when it's quiet in the restaurant. So, we have seen, we've been in the food industry for many years. You can't tell we're in the food industry for many, many years. And yeah, there is a definite shift to people wanting to watch rather than read, and definitely watch rather than sit in a classroom. So, the market's changing and we're trying to adapt to suit that market requirement.
Hello, welcome to EdTech Leaders. Today I am very happy to welcome from Always Food Safe, Dan Olk, the COO, and Nick Eastwood, the president. Today we're going to talk about food safety. Let's jump right in. What do you guys do?
You're asking
That's
me?
new stuff.
No,
do you do
right.
anything?
We do now. That's a loaded question, Oliver.
Who are your typical clients, and what do you do for them?
So what we do is we provide food safety training and certifications for the food service industry. So if somebody is in a commercial kitchen, there is certain protocols and procedures and policies that they need to keep. State, local, federal guidelines, require them to take a certain course. So what we have done is we've developed a course. We've developed the exam to prove that they are a master of that content. And then we provide them with a certificate. And then that certificate is used by the health department when they come in to make sure that that commercial kitchen is meeting those guidelines.
Okay.
That's in a nutshell. Now, Nick, since he's the one that developed the program, I'll let him speak a little bit on that part.
That was a great answer. That was a great answer. Best answer I've ever heard.
We're done. We're done.
We're done. Let's move on.
We can go play golf. But exactly what Dan says, we are here to help train people within a kitchen environment to deal with food safely. That's the key thing. What we have done in developing our products is to ensure that it's relevant to the industry as it is now. I'm talking about a general kitchen or a convenience store or a grocery store. We adapt the courses to suit that environment. We are video based and we add a lot of humour in the course. You've got Dan and Sabrina as the professionals, and I'm the one who makes the repeated mistakes.
He's Mr. Bean.
I'm the Mr. Bean of the open food safety market. So, and yeah, it's real life. It's relevant. It's showing good practice, it's showing bad practice, and obviously mistakes. We are trying to train people at distance, so we need to engage them, and we add a lot of humour and, like I said, the relevant and practical, and a lot of visual training as well.
Yeah, and it's, traditionally it was done in a classroom.
Yeah.
And so now that, and even pre-COVID, that's when we had launched the program and we were getting a lot of traction. Since COVID, now people have to learn, in different mediums. And what we were testing early on has come to prove truthful, which is people learn by video content and retain the information in a much more dynamic and stronger method that they actually then implement what they've learned in their place of work. So it's just the way for the content.
Yeah. Okay. Is there still an in-person component, or is it all video right now?
For us, it's all online. Everything's online. There are still people that do it in person. And, when you go to this point of it, Oliver, is that it really comes down to the learner. If you're taking the course, if you feel like you need to be in person, there's options for that. That's not what we specialize in. We specialize for that person that they need to be remote. They're because of their schedule. They're working, 10-hour days, and they only have a few hours at night after they've, finished work, put the kids to bed. Now they can sit in front of the computer and watch the course.
And we do. I'm quite a strong believer in what we call blended learning. So we do work with face-to-face training companies as well. Tends to be usually, if they're relatively new to the industry, face-to-face can help more. As Dan said, nowadays, everybody wants everything 24/7. That's including the training. They want to watch it at 1 a.m. in the morning. They want to watch it when they've got an hour between shifts or when it's quiet in the restaurant. So, we have seen we've been in the food industry for many years. You can't tell what in the food industry for many, many years. And yeah, there is a definite shift to people wanting to watch rather than read, and definitely watch rather than sit in a classroom. So, the market's changing, and we're trying to adapt to suit that market requirement.
Cool. So how did the company start? I mean, Nick, you started the food training first, right? I mean, and let's go way back.
Turn of the century.
When you were a child, were you like bugging your mother about food safety? How did you get into this?
Well, Queen Victoria was on the throne.
Yes.
It's that long ago. Yeah, my mother actually was as we call it in England, a cookery teacher. She taught cooking, catering skills to people. And when I was kind of, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, instead of coming home from school, I'd go to where she was teaching, and I would sit at the back of the classroom doing my homework, doing my science and history while listening to the food safety and training. So that's kind of where I started. I went into the food industry. I worked for a company called Unilever, so very much commercial side, selling into the restaurant groups. And then so many years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I started a very similar company in the UK, developed that in the UK, and always wanted to work in America. Always wanted to try the big country. So hence why we moved over. But yeah, I've been in the food industry for 35 years in total.
So just kind of back up a little bit to fill in some of his story.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm here, the English translator. So, when Nick was at Unilever, he was one of the men that, the instructors that taught the course in person, face to face. And as he was doing that, he then went out on his own, and he partnered with 2 other people because he said, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so he developed the first video-based training in the UK. And within, 5 years, you guys were selling to 20% of the industry on that part.
Very cool.
And he wanted to broaden out and come to the US, and his partners didn't. So that's where I came in, and my family's business partnered with him at that point.
Ah, okay. So
That's
how
the
did
story.
that's the story. We'll go with that. How did you meet?
Yeah, so one of my colleagues, he was so I'll back up. So my background is with National Checking Company, and so it's my family's business. And us, if you've ever worked in a restaurant or sat at a table, and the servers write in that green ticket and give you the green ticket that says guest check at the top. That's my family's business.
Love it.
Yeah. So obviously we do many other things. So one of my colleagues was in the UK and met Nick. We had some other products that were in the food safety component of it. And so the synergy between those other products and what Nick was offering allowed us to partner with him seamlessly. And so the synergies between those other food safety products and the actual food safety training and certification was perfect. So Nick brought the content, we provided the infrastructure behind it, and we started selling in the US 8 years ago?
Yeah.
So how did that develop? Were you bringing marketing? Was that a lot of what you were bringing to it? And talk about that, Dan.
Yeah, so Nick brought the content. So he had the food handler course. He had the manager course. We developed the allergen course. So with that content, we then together, we filmed it. So we obviously couldn't have Nick speak because nobody understands him.
Mm-hmm.
True. If you watch the basic,
you could have subtitled it.
Well, we're going to subtitle this, right? So when he created the content, he maintained the accreditation. Then together we filmed it, and then we provided the parent company then provided the infrastructure for the sales, the marketing, the accountants, the sales force, all of that.
Okay. And then the platform you developed, you hired a company to provide that?
Nick brought the platform to begin with. And then we have, the platform has grown. So as technology has improved, we've had to change it. So from a basic WordPress website to now a proprietary website with our full LMS and stuff.
Okay. And video is primarily just talk about the platform a little bit. They watch a video, then you have tests. Tell us about the certification process.
Yeah, obviously the videos, depending on which course, food handlers about 2 hours, the manager course about 8 hours, broken down into short, sharp chapters. We find most people learn for about 20 minutes, then we lose them. So we've kept it quite relevant, quite short. Excuse me. Once you've completed all the learning, there are chapter questions just to make sure that they've understood the chapter, move on to the next chapter, and at the end it is an accredited exam. Depending, food handler is multiple choice that they can take on their own. The manager course is a proctored exam, so there has to be a live proctor monitoring the exam while they take it. Once they pass, it's a fully accredited certificate, which they get, which is depending on which state, is anything from 2 to 5 years. And as Dan already said, it is then accepted by a health inspector. That's the key thing. They've got to be able to prove to a health inspector learning has occurred, and they've got a certificate to prove that the learning's occurred. So
okay, how different are they from state to state? The process.
It can vary. I mean, ANZI or ANAB is the awarding body, and it's recognised at the manager level in 49 states, 48, 49 states. The food handler is recognised in 6 states, so we then have to go to, for example, Ohio. They've got their own food code, so we amend the course to match their food code. Then we amend the exam bank to match their food code as well. So it can change. To be honest, food safety is food safety the world over. Wash your hands.
So you don't have to make that many changes. You just, I assume they put in your state, and then you have different tweaks.
Yes, yeah. Temperature or use of gloves, or how often you should disinfect, sanitize. Sorry. So they are minute changes, but they're required in certain states.
Yeah.
So even county, even the odd county has a change.
And that's what our team does. They manage not just the content. So everything is based off of and primarily the FDA food code. And then different states and counties have different variations of it. So like, for example, in San Diego County, they follow the California food code, not the FDA, but they're very similar. Yeah. So there's minor differences of like, you can hold the food for 6 hours. In California, it changes a little bit. So those things, and we monitor that, and we have compliance officers that do all that to make sure that the content meets and at least meets the needs and maintains that certification and accreditation.
How many companies do this? Are you the king of food safety?
Well, we think we are
kings of food safety.
King and queen.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
She was spectacular, right?
She was. God bless her.
So there's on the manager level, there is only, I think right now, 12 companies that have that level of accreditation. On the food handler, there's hundreds, and it's just a much smaller, easier one to maintain. And like we said, it can be, they can only have the accreditation in Florida, and not every state. But in that, we're in the top couple in terms of this.
Okay, how do you maintain that lead, and how do you grow?
Good points. I have no idea. Good points. Is that? I think the thing is, we have an extremely good relationship with the awarding body. I sit on some of the boards for that. And we sit down and help write basically the food code. We help with amendments to the food code changes, what's happening in the industry. So we're helping at that level. Obviously, that comes back to our course. So we look at, what's changing in the market, what's developing in the market, and then we adapt our training to suit that, whether it's mandatory or good practice. There's certain good practice things we suggest. So we're always trying to keep on top of what the market's asking for, what the market's telling us. In a perfect world, a chef should be washing their hands about every 15 seconds. It's never going to happen. So how do we minimize the risk? When should they wash their hands? Bear in mind, we understand that there's a commercial business need behind it. You can't be sat there washing your hands all day. So we've kind of worked through it. It's got to be relevant to the learner and the situation they're in. So we do a lot of that.
Well, that's great in terms of how we maintain that accreditation, but how we stay on top of everybody is a very sophisticated digital marketing campaign that we rely on Google a lot on that part of it. We have marketing teams that will find the trends within an industry. Like right now, if you look at like the C-store industry, they're now just getting into food service, meaning they're actually preparing food as opposed to just selling a package. So now they need these training and this certification. And so it's us educating them. And so we're a part of multiple different groups that work within that to educate them, to show them what they need, show them what they're missing, show them the opportunities to stay ahead of it. And so it's a lot of it comes from our marketing campaigns and our sales efforts behind that.
It was
Okay.
Sorry, it was interesting to just to jump in that. The marketing director was just going through our YouTube channel, which is recently launched. 450,000 views
in the last 6 months.
It's
Wow.
unbelievable. So people are interested in it. They want to stay relevant, and Dan's right. We ensure that we get that message out to the people who need to have the message. So it's
you can fill stadiums. The food safety tour. You tour the world.
Oh, Oliver, you have just opened a can of worms.
That's my next idea.
It's going to be, Nick is my boss, so he's going to say, "I want a stadium tour," and I'm somehow going to have to produce that for him.
They're like Oasis.
Lovely. I do what I can.
Oh God, this is going to be a long day.
Great idea.
So you have events, you have YouTube. Do you do email outreach? Do you do Facebook ads? Take us.
So we're on all the social media platforms. We Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is a really big professional target for us. We will target emails blasts based off of, like any company, we'll buy an email list. And the biggest thing with that is making sure that list is clean. So we just had our marketing department present to us, and one of it is the deliverable. So content, it's relevant, etc., is fantastic, but it's got to get to the person. And so they spend a lot of time making sure that their deliverables are 95% and above, meaning the email actually got to the person. So
you don't want to get blocked.
Say it's sophisticated. They provide us with numbers and things, Oliver, that I just look at the stat. I have no idea how they do it. So
cool.
And what's fun is that because we're all we're a relatively small company, the marketing team can sit in the office here with Nick and say, okay, we want you to talk about calibrating a thermometer. Ready, go. And they can film it on their iPhone and get it done, get the content, and then throw it up to the YouTube channel or throw it onto Instagram or Facebook, or not Facebook, onto LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. So it's constantly staying on top of it and having fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be relevant, not perfect.
Yeah. And it sounds like from what you said before, you go to events and have in person working with other groups and so forth. Cool. So where do you go from here? I mean, what are your goals for the next year or two, other than the world tour, of course? That's going to take up some time. But what else? Where do you want to go?
I'm thinking of 56-night tour. What do you think? I'm thinking of that. Start in America and work his way.
Hey, we could do that, but you're going to drive around in a VW van.
Okay. But
the mystery machine, I'm going to give him. He has no idea what that is.
I have no idea what mystery machine was. But
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Still have no idea. I think the plan is we had a big presentation with customer support today, and we are utilizing more and more AI tools to help, basically to help the learner if they're looking to purchase a course or they're looking for 10 courses, not sure what to do. We want to kind of walk them onto the system as effortlessly as possible. We all buy things online and we all have certain websites that we prefer to use because they're easy to use. So, and there is a human being there to speak to behind AI if needed. So it's about really helping that customer, the learner, access the training quickly. We are looking at multiple languages now because, again, in America there's about 250 languages spoken. So we were talking with a Korean customer the other day. The food safety knowledge was superb, but their English wasn't. So how do we teach this person, and how do they then prove that for their exam? So we're working a lot on the development of our courses where you can click a button and you can watch down in Mandarin,
Right.
and it lip syncs and it's fantastic. So it's all about making that learner journey as easy as possible, making sure they get the knowledge and it sticks, and then they pass the exam. So we're working a lot on that. We're also looking at very different courses, that are required within our industry. Obviously, the likes of alcohol awareness training is big.
Sexual harassment's another one.
First aid.
You've got, so I sit on a number of different boards with the health inspectors, and another one is marijuana.
Yeah.
And that part, and hemp and stuff, and how are they monitoring that, and how is that? There's an opportunity there because it's a growing piece. And are you growing it right? Are you growing it effectively and safely? And are you selling it and identifying, the customers that are coming in from how to manage that process? So
It's a big market.
It is.
And the customer perspective is it's better if they can just log on to one system and all the learning packages sat there rather than having to go to several different sites and purchase several different times. So again, it's helping that customer through the journey easier.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work with individuals, but we also do a lot of work with some of the big major companies. And again, it's how do we integrate our training and systems into their learning management systems?
Yeah.
So again, you're not having to jump to a different site. A seamless transition to our product from, from a big grocery chain's learning management system.
Right.
So
they won't have to switch to your system. They can just use their own LMS, have your content. Maybe you can give them your AI. The AI is going to be a coach, so they can actually answer questions in real language as well as point them to the content.
Yes. I mean, the AI is there to help them through the onboarding, the training, and again the certification at the end. But yeah, we are looking at avatars, for example,
right?
Because there are certain things where a 5-minute top up on hand washing. We'd like to send it out after 3 months after passing the exam. Here's a quick reminder on hand washing. Can we produce a quick 2-minute short film just to kind of keep that knowledge topped up over the lifetime of the certificate?
But also to that point, in terms of like utilizing that AI tool, so somebody gets through the course and at the end they take a practice exam, and it says, okay, here's the 6 areas that you were rated in, and you really struggled in
storage.
In storage, and you say, okay, hey, Always Food Safe AI, show me where I wasn't producing well, and then direct me into the content of where I can improve. And so then the system will just pop that learner, hey, I think you're going to find this area of the chapter in the course meets the requirements of what you're trying to achieve. So just utilizing that to make it a better experience for that learner.
Cool. I don't know. I have nothing else to say now.
Do you want to come on the tour?
Are you coming on the tour?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can definitely fill some stadiums. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be a fun tour. All three of us.
The Bald Safety Tour.
There it is.
Right. Thank you so much. This has been fun. Yeah,
absolutely. Same here.
Did I miss anything? Anything you want to talk about?
No, not really. I think obviously there's various companies out there doing this. To us, the learner comes first. We want to engage we want them to learn. We want them to learn. We want them to pass it exam, and more importantly, keep that knowledge relevant, because a lot of people pass exams and it's done. Well, the way we forward, additional 2 minutes on hand washing, we just want to keep that knowledge topped up until they're ready to take their exam again in another 3 years, for example. So we care about food safety. Let's be honest. I don't want to get food poisoning going into a restaurant.
Yeah. So there's the exam, but how about just in between reminders? Do you just give them that, even though they might not legally need it?
They don't legally need it. But again, it's just it's like everything else. You pass whatever exams you did when you left school. You've probably forgotten 60% of it by now. That's life. So what we want to just keep topping that knowledge up, and it's on the key things that can massively affect food safety. So personal hygiene, temperature control, storage, hand washing, preparation. It's time and temperature control. These are the things where they can dramatically impact food safety. If you done badly, you're going to get food poisoning. Done correctly, and it's not rocket science.
No.
It's just wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. But that probably would stop 80% of food poisoning outbreaks in America. So it's just keeping that knowledge just topped up, reminding them.
And if you think of it this way too, when you go into a food service establishment and that bathroom is crystal clean and the floors are beautiful, etc., you have a much better experience than if you walk into the restroom and it's messy and there's towels and it's gross. You're not going to have a good experience. I mean, we're kind of off track on that, but that's kind of that, keep reminding people of what they need to do and implement it.
Yeah. Actually, I want to ask you about something specific, which is allergies, because, restaurants just treat it so differently, and some are frankly really, really terrible. And presumably people have passed food safety courses.
Yep.
But
and so we have an allergen course, and one of the big functions of it is how do you approach your guests, and how do you answer the questions, and how do you address that? And so, I had a friend of mine who's has a big allergy component, and they hate going out to eat. And when you go out with them and they ask the server, does this have, X, Y, and Z? And the reaction of the server, we know instantly whether we're going to be eating in that restaurant or not. It's just by how they act. And so that's what that allergen course does, is helps them understand, recognize it, and then how to help that person feel safe within the environment.
Well, how should they act? Let's give the viewers a tip.
The best thing we always say, obviously you're training your staff to answer these questions, but if the staff member doesn't know, if the server doesn't know, be honest and say, I don't know, I can go and find out. And that will give an allergy sufferer far more confidence than somebody going, yeah, it's fine.
And then beyond that, then that person that's the expert comes up to the table and says, Oliver, I hear you have a peanut allergy. Can you express more about what that is? What are you looking for? What can we help you with? Here are the 3 dishes I suggest that you focus on. And then on the back end of it, when that dish is brought out, and I've seen this done really, really well in a restaurant near me, where one of the chefs brought that dish out, or one of the runners brought just that dish out for that person, and then the other runners brought the others. So you knew right off the bat that dish was prepared right, it was separated, and now they're even taking the time to show that customer, we have separated and taken care of this for you. And wait, does that meet your needs? Are you good? Any questions? So just making them feel comfortable, because a lot of restaurants, they do it right. They really do. And it's, how do you make that individual feel comfortable that you've done it right?
What we find is obviously there's 15 million allergy sufferers in the US, and it's growing. It's growing quickly. A lot of the major chains, the restaurant chains, have said it's only legal in 4 states to do this training, but we do everybody. We put it in nationwide through. So it's the confidence to understand if somebody comes in, I have a peanut allergy. Is it in these dishes? They can honestly answer, have the knowledge, or they can communicate. And then it's about, getting rid of cross-contact issues. It's so easy to cross-contaminate. a plate with peanut dust, for example, very, very quickly in the restaurant. So it's teaching the staff how to do that and how do they prevent that from happening.
Yep.
So it's prevention. So communicate, be honest, prevent, cross contact, and that's a bit. And allergy sufferers, like any consumer, they vote with their feet. If they're not feeling comfortable, they would walk out. They won't risk it. It's not worth the risk. So it's understanding that. And any restaurant that all the members of staff are training allergy, they're probably going to sell more food to allergy sufferers because they know that they're safe going into that restaurant. So there is a commercial benefit to it as well, to a restaurant.
Sure.
You'll get a good reputation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. From Always Food Safe, Dan Olk and Nick Eastwood. Go check out alwaysfoodsafe.com. Subscribe to this channel. Buy your tickets to the world tour.
Free beer. Free beer.
And we will see you there. Free beer, allergen free. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Oliver.
Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.